Hi, Bible. Welcome back, folks. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Update. Now, let's get to the show. There's something timeless about the idea of freedom, not as some distant monument etched in stone, but as a living thing, something that breathes and grows, demanding our attention and care if it's going to last. Imagine it like a tree rooted deep in the earth, stretching toward the sky. It's not enough to plant it once and walk away. It needs ongoing investment, the kind that comes from commitment and sometimes even sacrifice. That's the core thought I've been turning over lately, and it feels worth exploring together here because it touches on how we live our daily lives, make our choices, and build something enduring for those who come after us. Let's start with that tree analogy because it captures so much. A tree doesn't just appear fully formed, it begins as a seed, pushes through the soil, and then it has to contend with everything the world throws at it: droughts, storms, pests. To thrive, it needs nourishment, pruning, maybe even protection from threats that could choke it out. Freedom operates much the same way. It's dynamic, adaptive, and if we neglect it, it can wither or twist into something unrecognizable. This isn't just poetic, it's a practical lens for understanding history in our present moment. Think back to those early days of a young nation, say right after independence had been won through grit and resolve. The ink on the declarations was barely dry, and already economic hardships were stirring up unrest. Farmers rebelling against taxes, debts piling up, the whole structure feeling shaky. It was a test. Could this new experiment in self-governance hold together without crumbling into chaos or sliding back into old patterns of control? What emerged from that was a realization that liberty isn't a gift that sustains itself. It requires a delicate balance, enough order to keep things stable, but never at the expense of individual rights. Let that balance tip too far, and the tyranny creeps in, like weeds overtaking a garden. History shows us this pattern over and over. The nourishment for freedom's tree doesn't always come from calm, easy times. Sometimes it's the harsh stuff, conflicts where blood is shed, not out of aggression, but in defense of ideals that matter. It's not about glorifying violence, far from it. It's about acknowledging that preserving what's precious often comes with a cost. Those who stand up for their rights, who push back against overreach, they're the ones who are watering the roots with their efforts. And on the flip side, those who seek to dominate or control, they're the storms that test the tree's strength. But let's ground this in logic because it's not just sentiment. Look at how societies function. The ones that last, that really endure, are built on voluntary cooperation, where people are accountable for their actions and free to pursue their paths. It's like a natural ecosystem. Everything interconnected, adapting to changes. Draw from evolutionary biology, for instance. Species that survive aren't the strongest in a brute sense, but the ones that adapt through stress, evolving stronger traits over time. Systems theory echoes this. Resilient structures bend under pressure, organize, and come out more robust. Apply that to human societies, and you see why unchecked power leads to fragility. It stifles innovation, crushes initiative, and eventually collapses under its own weight. Freedom, on the other hand, encourages that adaptability, people making choices, learning from mistakes, building something better. Now, how does this play out in our everyday lives? That's where it gets really relevant. Vigilance isn't about being paranoid or constantly on edge. It's about active engagement. Take something simple like staying informed, reading up on issues that affect your community, questioning decisions from those in authority when they seem to overstep. It's not rebellion for its own sake, it's stewardship, participating in civic processes, like voting thoughtfully or getting involved in local initiatives. That's pruning the tree, cutting away the dead branches so healthy growth can continue. And it's not all grand gestures. Small, consistent actions add up. Educate yourself on economics, for example, understand how markets work, how personal choices just ripple out to affect everyone. Support causes that align with justice and fairness without tipping into disorder. These are the nutrients that keep the roots strong. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to let things slide, to assume someone else will handle it. But that's when decay sets in. Imagine your own life. If you neglect your health, your relationships, or your skills, things don't stay the same. They decline. Freedom in a society works the same way. It's an ongoing investment, one that rewards those who commit to it with a sense of purpose and stability. Reflecting on nature helps bring this home. Consider a mighty oak in a forest. It's not there by chance. It weathers seasons of growth and dormancy, cycles of renewal. Storms might outstrip its leaves, but its roots dig deeper, drawing strength from the earth. There's a quiet beauty in that resilience, a reminder of the universe's intricate design, where everything has its place and purpose. Liberty mirrors this. It's a creation that demands our effort, but in return, it offers shade, shelter, and the space to flourish. Honoring that means embracing personal responsibility, not as a burden, but as a privilege. It's how we pay forward the sacrifices of the past, ensuring that future generations inherit something vital and alive. Of course, this perspective isn't without its challenges. In uncertain times, it's tempting to seek quick fixes, hand over control to others, hope they sort it out. But history warns against that. When people step back, when they stop investing, the tree weakens. Instead, clarity comes from seeing freedom as a shared endeavor, where individual actions contribute to the whole. It's about curiosity, too, asking why things are the way they are, exploring better ways forward. In your daily routine, that might mean choosing to learn a new skill, helping a neighbor, or simply standing firm in your principles during tough conversations. Let's expand on that historical angle a bit more, because it offers such clear lessons. In those post-independence years, the uprisings weren't just random flare-ups. They were symptoms of deeper issues. Debts from war, economic policies that burden the average person. Leaders had to navigate that, crafting systems that protected rights while maintaining order. It's a reminder that freedom isn't anarchy. It's structured liberty, where rules exist to safeguard everyone's ability to live freely. Fast forward to today, and we see echoes, economic pressures, debates over governance, questions of how much authority is too much. The tree still needs tending. Scientifically, this makes sense beyond biology. Think about chaos theory or even basic physics. Systems under stress can reach tipping points, but with the right inputs, they stabilize and grow. Human societies are no different. When people are free to innovate, to trade ideas and goods voluntarily, progress accelerates. It's why societies that emphasize personal accountability tend to foster creativity and resilience. Contrast that with rigid controls, and you see stagnation. Again, not arguing for extremes, but observing patterns that align with how the world works. In practical terms, what does ongoing investment look like for you or me? Start with education, not just formal schooling, but lifelong learning. Read about history, economics, philosophy. Understand the value of sound money, free exchange, how incentives drive behavior. Then apply it. Make choices that reflect responsibility, budget wisely, build skills that add value, support systems that reward effort. Civically, it means engaging without cynicism. Vote, sure, but also volunteer, speak up in your community. These aren't heroic acts, they're the steady drip of water that nourishes the soil. And there's a deeper layer here, a reverence for the bigger picture. The universe is vacuous, filled with wonders, from the stars overhead to the intricate patterns in a leaf. Freedom allows us to appreciate that, to pursue discovery and meaning on our own terms. It's a quiet gift, one that asks us to give back through our commitments. By doing so, we create legacies, not just for ourselves, but for the world. Pausing for a moment on the sacrifice element, it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's the quiet resolve to do what's right, even when it's inconvenient. Parents teaching their kids about hard work and integrity, entrepreneurs risking it all to build something new, everyday folks standing against injustice. These are the investments that compound over time, much like interest in a well-managed account. To tie it back to the tree, pruning isn't destruction, it's refinement. In Liberty's case, that might mean reforming laws that hinder freedom, ensuring accountability for those in power. It's adaptive, responsive to the times. Today, with technology connecting us like never before, Vigilance includes digital awareness, protecting privacy, discerning truth from noise. Small steps, but they matter. Ultimately, this view brings clarity amid the chaos of modern life. It encourages curiosity about how things work, relevance to our choice, and a grounded appreciation for what truly sustains us. Freedom's tree is worth the effort. Its branches offer shelter, its fruits nourish, and its roots connect us to something profound. Well, folks, that's it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe. I hope to see you next time.